I love the show. It's so great. It's I was thinking about it. You play scientists in a lot of your films, and do you feel a pressure to stay up on the science behind things? Like, do people come up to you and think that you should know all the science behind all these things?
Well, maybe they do, but they're, I myself, the character I play in real life is a little bit like the character I play on that show as Jeff Goldblum, which is that, hey, I'm not ashamed to tell them I don't know anything that I don't know, and that, but I'm in the, if they want to come along with me, I'm in the middle of a journey to learn more in the little time that we all have here. You can't even read the 100 books that you really should read, or the movies or the music or any of that. So we're all just catching up. I feel a kind of urgency and a fervency to learn as much as I can and experience as much as I can. So there we go. But my dad was a doctor, and I played some of these scientists, even recently in the Law of Jurassic World
Yeah.
Dominion. I'm a mathematician again, and a wise chaotician of some kind. No, in real life, I'm just what I am. But I do have, especially since this series, a kind of a renewed and enhanced um, curiosity about all sorts of things and many things scientific. I find myself on the telephone all the time, looking up and YouTube and looking up more podcasts and more interviews with physicists talking about the Big Bang and the dimensions of the universe and if there are multiverses and if there are aliens out there, or if we're the only intelligent life in the universe, or if not, and all of that, and consciousness. Why are the lights on in the way they are from our brain material, and neuroscientists talking about that. I'm kind of interested in all that, really. So
Yeah.
an eager student.
How do you go about choosing these topics? Like, because they're pretty broad too, but you distill them down to like a half hour. That has to be such a challenge.
Well, the people who I do it with, I'm just the goofball who kind of fools around with them. But they set me up with all their research that they've done, and we talk about the subjects, and they say, which ones might trigger, free associations with your history, with your family in Pittsburgh, with your current two little boys, and all that, and what interests you, and what might get you going, and all that. And I open up and tell them everything that I can about all that, and we come up with them collaboratively. And then yes, and then the half hour that we call it down to, they've organized their thinking and recruited these scientists or whoever I'm going to talk to, and kind of organized it in these sequences that we want to fill out, and then I get to implement them and give them raw material, and then I try to mess it up and kind of play with all the people with whom I'm talking and encountering, and then they're very good with the scissors, and they make me look good and somewhat coherent, and separate the wheat from the chaff like that. And then they put me in the sound studio, and I do these so-called voiceovers to kind of glue together some of these things, and I do some more fooling around, and then we stitch that together. It's a kind of, I don't know if anybody does it the same way that we do, but I've gotten a big kick out of it, I'll tell you.
I bet. Yeah. Do you watch the episodes with your sons? Like, do you ever? Yeah.
Yes, yes. They're very family
Yeah, they're
friendly,
very.
and I don't want to try to impress myself too much upon them, especially unwantedly. But they get a kick out of it, and they like this. I've anecdotally, a lot of parents have come up and said, we watch with our kids, and our kids really like it, and da 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 da. So I've had some young fans who tell me about ice cream and sneakers and denim and all sorts of things. And yeah, with our kids, we've done it, and they're in the shows. And even, I guess human beings are alike, and I am too. They kind of perk up when they come on too. They're interested in dad, but they're also, not in the same way I am. They don't, they're not horribly, they don't have big expectations themselves. They're like, oh yeah, that was me and this and that. But they're kind of interested. And then when mom is on dancing and all that stuff, yeah, they're
That's
into it.
so cool. I
Yeah.
love the birthday episode. I thought that was really interesting. And how did you go about getting all of those great home movies? Was that fun, like going through those?
Well, I didn't.
You didn't.
I tell them, surprise me. You gotta just catch me on film, photograph me, film me, encountering things that I didn't expect and all that stuff. So when they said, I knew that they had talked to Emily, who was the holder, the archivist of all the stuff that we always take of them, and they got, she sent them birthday stuff, and then I said, well, don't show it to me before you're filming me, because I knew this sequence, we're going to have you watching some home movies. And then okay, well, just film, put the camera on and then turn the thing on, and we don't do more than one take, and I'm just watching all that stuff. Yeah. And in that particular episode, yeah, it kind of chokes me up. It's seeing
Yeah.
them. I mean, come on, they're 7 and 5 now. Seeing them at one, even on my phone, because I have this mechanism where it just comes up and surprises me, and I go, oh my gosh, this is them, because we took pictures when they were being born and when they were coming out of the
Yeah.
hospital and stuff, and to see how they've changed. I don't know if you have kids, from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. Those are
I have nephews
incredible
though.
years,
Yeah. Yeah.
unbelievable. And Emily is always telling them stories. We're always telling them, I don't know if it's a good idea or not. Maybe some expert will say, oh, no, you're way off base. We're telling them because they seem interested in their birth story. And we're saying, here's what time you came out. Here's how you came out. And here's a picture of you when you first came out and all that stuff. And they seem kind of fascinated by it.
Yeah.
And
Just like you would be. They're inquisitive like you.
yeah, I know. I know. There's something. Yeah, there's something.
That's funny. Related to the birthday episode, which culminates with you and a group of hipsters walking on hot coals. Do you find that this show sometimes is a bit of like almost like a memoir? I felt like, in addition to something that the general public is consuming, do you ever feel like it's more personal than you thought it would be?
Yes, entirely. When we sort of organically, as they say, started to develop what this was going to be, and then each episode individually, it always sort of surprises us a little bit. And yeah, I gave them all my home movies and all my photos early on, and then they include things, my parents and this and that, and it's always surprising, and it turns out to be a better use of that footage than I've ever been able to figure out. I've always kind of kept that because I like, seeing, my parents, my family and stuff like that here and there. You kind of look at it from time to time. But I always thought, hey, this could be used. That's my profession. If I was going to make a movie somehow that included it, what would it be? I think this is a pretty good use of it, at least I feel that it is. And it chokes me up when I see it. And I'm delighted to see it. And now I have these things that will be kind of as good as the home movies I have when I see me and my kids watching fireworks together,
Yeah.
the likes of which I'd never seen before, so close up and so beautifully displayed, and us all together watching them and them in wonderment. It's great footage, and it just kills me. I kind of love it, and it's a personal. Now yes, it is a personal kind of journal, a video journal of my these couple of years.
Yeah, I also love the dog episode because as a dog owner, oh my gosh, it was so interesting too, and it went places that I didn't expect it to go. Are you ever surprised by even like yeah, they're just it kind of goes down a rabbit hole of things they're like, oh, I never thought of that.
Totally, totally.
Yeah.
Well, that I didn't know about. I have a little, experience with social media, but I didn't know that these dogs had, big fan clubs and this one particular one I didn't know about, Tuna, and we had such a, tough meeting. He seemed to be happy, want to eat me, and then in a couple hours was in love with me, and I with him. That was amazing. And then those puppies who were going to be rescue dogs, how they
Yeah.
recruit those with that
Yeah.
expert guy. Talking to him was amazing. And then when I hid in that rubble that I didn't know existed, they have those training
That was
things,
wild.
and those dogs that find after earthquakes or horrible disasters, they're the only ones that can traverse some terrain and find human beings lost. And me pretending to be stuck in a drain pipe. very touching, very touching. And my own dog, as I said, you saw Woody in it, when you look at him and they're always so spiritually advanced and sophisticated, and like the masters tell the wise people tell us, so available and alert always and present. They're always just like that, and in a mysterious and adorable way like that. And then heroic, like that character I play in Isle of Dogs, that Wes Anderson movie. The bunch of us are ready to save that little boy whom we hardly know, but ready to give our lives entirely in order to help out, which they are. Our dog is he's ready to take a bullet for us anytime.
Yeah, it
It's
made me look at
very,
my dog differently. I'm like, oh, it makes me love you even more.
oh, I know,
Yeah,
I know.
they're the best.
The whole series made me fall more deeply in love with life like I
Yeah,
never have.
oh, that's so great. Well, I have one final question. What's the most surprising thing you've learned from doing this show? It's something that just kind of blew you away.
Well, I was totally blown away by so different aspects of all the episodes. And I'm looking, oh my gosh, monsters, oh my gosh, magic, to see, Penn and Teller, that was
Yeah,
to dance with my wife on that dance episode and have that footage.
yeah,
That was amazing. That was amazing. Oh, fireworks. Oh, to talk to that astronaut who, said, when you look at fireworks, it makes us all look up to the stars and kind of emulates the stars. And I've seen them up closer. And it's being here on this planet, of course, seeing the planet as we know from further away, it gives you such a transformed experience. That was a mind blowing, transformational encounter, just secondhand with him. Puzzles backyard. Oh, backyards. I'd never been to the Sequoia Forest before and seen those giant redwood trees and everything. And then to climb one with those tree experts, I'll never be the same. Unbelievable. And then to go to Legoland. My kids are, Lego crazy. But to go to Legoland, and then, no, I haven't told you, they since then I sort of connected with some people in Legoland, and I said, you kids have to go there. We drove a couple hours again ourselves and took them to Legoland, and they had a great time.
oh, that's amazing.
I know, amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's been such a pleasure chatting with you, and it's such a delightful show, and it's so special. So,
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Megan. I want
yeah.
to come back and go to Eaton Park with you and Kennywood. I don't know if
Yes.
DeSal's Pizza is still there. We called it Junction Pizza on the way to Kennywood, and so many places. Oh my
It might
gosh.
let me check and I'll send through Corey and them. I'll find out if it's still there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's a deal. I'll see you
Okay.
back there. I can't believe you're back there. Well, good
Yeah.
luck and say hi to everybody.
I'll see Jeff Goldblum says hi to everybody.
Yes, please.
Well, thank you so much and have a great day and your weekend too.
Have a great time there. I
Thanks.
appreciate it. Thank you so
Bye.
much.